Yes, let's go with this heading, converting manual database to an electronic medium. Yeah, Sanushi, to purchase the Oracle database, yes, we have to pay. It's a license version too. Yeah, then you can write this sentence. Yeah, continue with the last one as well, because those two are important. Okay, are we done?
Yes.
Right. So moving forward, yeah, you can write down the table, copy down the table. All right, let's move forward. That's great, Susu. Yeah, so the next we have to experience how the database management system is going to work. So like the one that we are going to experience is called the MS Access. So it is one of the softwares which comes with Microsoft Office package. So once you start the access, it's going to give you an interface, something like this, right? So like in the same way of the other softwares that we have learned, like the very first time that we are opening the particular software, it always gives us these kind of uh, blank application and some of the templates, right? So the same way, uh, the database is also giving you some kind of templates. That means there are some predefined methods or like predefined databases uh, which have been created for some particular tasks, right? Like asset trackings, for contacts, for student details, for event management, those kind of things. As well as we can go with a blank database as well, right? So there are many different versions and the templates. So you can use it accordingly uh, as per your need, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to create a blank database over here. So the major difference of the other three softwares like Word, PowerPoint, Excel is that when we are click on the blank pages or a blank document or a blank worksheet, it just gives us the space to work right straight away. Later we could save them in a time that we want. But when it comes to the database, when you are trying to create a new one, first it is asking you to save your database. So as you can see, this database is having a particular extension called ACCDB, right? Uh, which indicates the access database, right? That's the extension. So like in the Word documents, we had DOCX, and in the Excels, we have XLSX. And for the PowerPoint, we had PPTX extension. So likewise, for the access, we are having ACCDB to indicate the access database, right? And here, this is the place where you can give any particular name for your database, right? So, and as well as you can change your location, which gives you the chance to change the place that this database is going to save using this icon. You can browse. Then once you browse, this browsing window will be open. So you can choose a particular place and you can give a particular name. So I'll give student DB as the name. So then I press OK. All right. So once I press OK, it's not going to create people. It's just set the name and the location for this database to be saved. So once I click on create button, then of course it will create my database. So once my database has created, it gives me an interface like this. This interface is created with a table. The reason is we discussed the database is a collection of data table. So collection of records will create us a particular table, and collection of table will create us a particular database. So since the table is the most common item on the database, and for the fact that a database cannot exist without at least one table, so when the database is created with the access table, one table is already created by the access and uh, given to us. So we can modify it as we want, right? But anyway, one table is a must inside the database. Otherwise, we can't call it a database, right? So that table is with one particular column ID. And if I click on here, I can add another column. As well as it has many different tools over here, which we are going to use within a short time. And those tools will help us to create the tables in an effective manner, right? So in the when we select any particular table, and before we select any particular table, I'll take you through the uh, indicators or like the things is on this interface. So it's usually it has save, the undo button, the redo button, those kind of common buttons are there, right? And as well as the name of the database, which shows student DB, right? And it shows us where the location is. And at the right hand side corner, you have close button, the restore button, and the minimize button, right? And as you could see in the previous softwares, here, even here, we can find the ribbons with different kinds of tools, but it's kind of a limited number of ribbons that you can find, right? So home will give you some familiar tools over here regarding text formatting, and some ascending, descending, the filtering type of sort and filtering tools, the clipboard tools, which you have already familiar with. And it has some database specific groups like records, find, find was there, right, in the previous softwares. Likewise, and create will allow you to create different kinds of objects in the database management system. The objects that we were just wrote in your notebooks, like you can have tables, you can have queries, you can create forms, you can create reports. And there are some advanced things called macros. We are not going to that particular places. And external data. This is because there are ways that we can take data into a database. One good way is insert in each and every data. And the other good way is like if we got a particular database already, let's assume like we have typed all the things in an Excel sheet. So we can convert that Excel sheet into a database straight away, right? So if you're going to use any external data from the outside, that means from the outside of the Access software, you can use the external data. And database tools will help us to majorly to create the relationship in between the tables, right? So I like if you can remember, I told you a database is no point of having a database by having tables which are not connected to each other, right? So tables should be connected with each other to have the best result or the best outcome from a database, right? So database tools are majorly there to create relationship, and some other things are there as well. But in our syllabus, we are going to talk about creating the relationship once we are done with the tables. And the help, as usually, there's for the take help of regarding this particular software. And table fields and the table, these two columns are there because you are like selected with a one particular table. So in the when you select the table in the table field ribbon, at the left corner, you can find this particular value, views. So what you can see here is the design in view that you have. I'm sorry, the data sheet view that you have, right? So this is the view which we call the data sheet view. So you can change the view into the design view. So once you are asked to change the view, it is asking us to record the table or like the save the table inside the computer, so they can work with that table and do the changes as necessary. So uh, I'm going to name this as student table, my student table. So I'm planning to have my student details inside this table. So I press OK. Now you can see my table name. Earlier, the table name was a different one. Now it is being changed as the student. And I have taken you to the design view. Datasheet view was there in the same way. So this comes to the design view. So design view is all about designing the table, right? So we can design what are the columns, what are the data types of it. Then we can create a particular uh, outcome or like particular table. So I can change these words. So I get rid of ID and I'm going to have admission number. And for an admission number, I'm going to give a short text, right? So these are the data types that we were talking about: short text, long text, number, large number, date, time extended, currency, auto number, yes, no. Those things are even I don't know. Like I haven't experienced these things like attachment, calculated, lookup wizard. So we only need to take the things up to this particular point, right? So I'm selecting short text. That's my admission number. And I'm going to have S name. Now, be careful, people. Be careful and be very space friendly when you are creating a name uh, for a particular field, right? Because you are not going to make it very big, right? So you are going to put something short and sweet where people can understand, okay, this is talking about that, and you don't need to change it again and again. So S name, I'll take it as short text, and the address, again, we can go with the short text. And I'm going to take date of birth. And that, of course, can be a date and time, right? Right, so date of birth. And let's say annual fee. Okay, they are talking about some particular, this name cannot be, it is because I have put some space, maybe because of that. Yeah, definitely. So annual fee can be taken as a currency. And yeah, what else we can do? Yeah, that will be enough. And if you want any more things, we'll finalize it uh, during the construction. Right, so yeah, now I have created admission number, S name, address, date of birth, annual fee, right? And Yeah, once you are done with this, what you have to do is you have to save it. Right now we can save this, and before I'm going to save this thing, I want you to take the concentration of this admission number. Can you see a small icon at the left hand side of it? See, a key type of an icon. And just check what happens to this primary key button when I'm selecting the other places. They are not being highlighted. Once this is being selected, primary key is highlighted. And later you are going to learn we need a primary key to identify records uniquely. So we have to manage with those as well, right? So once you are done, first you can save it, right? So since you have saved this as the student DB, it's only a matter of clicking the uh, particular command, right? And you can change your design view into a datasheet view. Now you will see how this table is being created, right? And you can apply some particular data. I'm going to apply some particular data quickly. Right, it's better you pick the date from here. And let's say the fee as 500. Likewise, right? So you can apply, or like you can just insert your records one by one. If you want to do a bulk input, then of course you have to go through several different procedures, right? So anyway, now when this is done, if I change our view into a design view will not show you any particular errors. All right, so it's easy. So yeah, so one particular record is there, right? And yes, hold on, let me see what is there. Yeah, opening is okay, designing is okay, creating a primary key is okay, entering data is okay. Yeah, so then they are talking about how to create a relational database. Now, when you have data in your database under the table, we can call it a relational database. But the problem is it gets changed very frequently, right? So if it is going to change the entire world or like the entire sector, there should be a way that data should not be changed according to the changes of the society, right? Because uh, those are just the primary things that we have to learn. And when you are creating a database and relating them, these concepts need to be go through, like one-to-one relationship, like one-to-many as the next one, and many-to-many relationships. Okay, people, give me a second. I'll be right back. Yeah. Yes, Suzu. Right. So let's go through what are these relationships types are. Right. First, we have to understand that. Then, of course, we can create some tables and create the relationship in between them. Daddy. Yes, Suzu. I'm not doing that. What is doing? All right. Now, in my database, I have created a table called student. All right. So I'm going to create another table called teacher. Right. So I'm going to create that. I'm going to go to the create tab and ask for a table. So it's give me another table over here. So I'm enabling the design view. I'm making it as the teacher table. I have given the name the teacher table. So I give the TID as the primary key. So I make this as a short text. And I just create the teacher name, again, a short text. And then taking it to the education qualification. So I'll take it as EDUQ, educational qualification. I'll take it as short text as well, right? And now my need is like my scenario is that there will be teachers who taught to many different kinds of students, and there will be students who learn from many different kinds of teachers, right? So it happens both the ways. One teacher is teaching to many students, and one student is taught by many different teachers, right? So, and again, I'm creating another table. Here, my table's name is going to be class, right? So here, I have a CID to indicate the class ID. I'm taking as a short text, and I get a C name, class name, and I'm taking it as a short text as well, right? And here my relationship in between the class and the student. I'm just taking one class has many students and one student has only one class, right? And I'm creating another table. This table is given the name as desk, right? So I assume a particular desk is going to provide to a particular student, one student, when he is admitted to a school. So that desk is given an ID called DID. So it's taken as a short text. And I'm going to have a color of the table. And my relationship in between student and the desk is like one student is given only one desk, right? So how I'm going to make the relationship in between these tables? Now, first of all, let's consider about the desk and the student, right? Right, so I'm going to the, okay, let's save these things. I'm going to the datasheet view of the desk. I'll get rid of the other two things, teacher and the student. So I'm going to give the desk ID as D001 to indicate the desk like this. And I'm going to give the color red, right? So let's assume that this desk is given to the student number 1001, which is Saman Kumar. Now, how these two tables is going to have the relationship to indicate that this particular student has a desk which is called D001, the DID is D001, and the color is red. So in this case, we have a particular table called student and put it as S. We have a particular table called desk and these two, now we can't see any particular clue to say that this desk keys belongs to the student number 1001 or the particular student called Saman Kumar. What can I do? What can I do to make this relationship or like to show this relationship in between these two? Like how can I recognize which desk belongs to Which student? What is the modification that I need to do? Meanwhile, I'm going to add another student. Yes, how do you think how this is going to happen? I'm taking a very random date. Yes, how can I make the connection in between student and desk, or like how I'm going to indicate that this desk belongs to this student?
Put the admission number in the desk.
All right. Yes, that's a very good suggestion. That's a very good suggestion, right? So you can put the student admission number in the desk table, right? So yes, so there are two students now. I'm going to change the design of the desk table, and I'm going to add the admission number. Here I'm going to call it admission num, and I'm taking it as a short text. I'm saving it. Going to the datasheet view. Yes, now I can write over here what? Saying this is as S001. All right. So there are two students. So two students should have two desks. So I take this as S002. And do we have any other alternative way that we are going to have this arrangement? Any alternative way, like without putting the admission number in the desk table? Instead of putting admission number in the desk table, what we can do? Yes, yes, people. Instead of putting admission number on the desk table, very good, Sanushi. You can put the desk ID on the student table, right? So you are given the chance to do this thing either the ways when your relationship in between these two tables is considered as one-to-one, right? So what I am considering as one-to-one, I'm having a student and I'm having a desk, right? So here comes the student and here comes the desk, right? So how the relationship happens over here? One student has only one desk. One desk is belongs to only one student, right? So when we can read the relationship in this manner, one student has only one desk and one desk belongs to only one student. When this nature is there, we can tell the relationship in between the student and the desk as one-to-one. So when the relationship is one-to-one, what you have to do is primary key of a one table can be copied to the other table as a normal field. So what we have done is the primary key of the student table is the admission number, and the primary key of the desk table is the DID, right? So what we have done is we have copied the primary key of one table into the other table as a normal field, right? So that kind of a condition, that kind of a relationship is called one-to-one relationship. People, are we clear?
Yes.
Right. So yeah, let's write very simply about this thing, people, because this can be asked, what is a one-to-one relationship, right? So yes, let's have it like this. Hold on, people, I need to see whether they have talked about the primary key and the foreign key before this. People, did we write anything about the primary key and the foreign key earlier? Yes, we did, right? We wrote about the primary key and the foreign key earlier, right? Yeah, over here, as I remember. Oh, yes, we wrote about it. So we can go with this in a very simple way. Yeah, have the heading called relationship of a database. Relationships of a database. Relationships of a database. That's going to be the heading. Relationships of a database. So the first category, name it as one-to-one relationship. One-to-one relationship. And you may write this as the definition. Right, people? Are we done? Right. Anyone who's still writing this? Okay. So once you're done with this, you can draw these two tables to show the one-to-one relationship. Have the table names properly. This is the marks table, and this is the student table. All right. So, yeah, people who are still doing this. Okay. So, like when we need to establish the relationship, even though we have given a particular what we call the primary keys over here, this still does not implies a relationship, a real relationship. So, to create a relationship, what we can do is we can have to go to the database tools, and we have to go to the relationship, right? So once we click the relationship, we will be given the relationship design tab. I'll show it to you again. Go to the database tools, click on the relationships. So it gives me the relationship design in window. So there you will be prompt with the particular tables that we have. So what we have to create, like the relationship that we are going to create is in between student and the desk. So double clicking on the desk will take me the desk table onto this window, and double clicking on the student will give me the student table or the structure onto this window. So I got my student table, I got my desk table, the structure. So now how I'm going to make the relationship, it is in between this admission number and this admission number. These two fields are going to create the relationship because that is the common field. So to create the relationship, what I can do is it's a very simple thing that I need to do. Click on the primary key on the admission number. Now it is going to duplicate over here. So this is going to become a foreign key. So I'm clicking on the admission number and drag it to the desk table and release the mouse. So once you release the mouse, you will be given this kind of a small window, right? This window shows me what kind of tables that I'm going to relate and using which columns that I'm going to do the relationship or to create the relationship, right? So I can simply click on create. So it will show me what kind of a relationship that they have, right? So this is what we call one-to-one relationship in between these two, right? Then after you can close the relationship design, and yeah, it's better we save. So it is being saved. So now you can see nothing new is here, but the relationship has happened. So the beauty of this is these people. Now let's check this. If I'm trying to delete the Saman Kumar, this particular record, the very first one, I right click and I'm trying to delete this. Right, hold on. I think yeah, I think I have missed the referential integrity creation. Yes, yes. So when I'm creating the relationship people, it's better I enforce referential integrity, and it's better I click this cascade update related fields, cascade delete filtered records, right? So hold on. Yeah. So like that I say, okay. Yes, I can't enforce it since it is open. So I'm going to save and close this. This is closed as well. Now I'm going to edit this thing. So I enforce this. Okay, it says it violates the referential integrity rules. There may be a record rating the employee. Okay, some problem arise. Hold on. Yes. The problem is I put the admission number as S001. I given as 1001, 1002, as well as, let me check the student table. Yeah, I took the admission number as a short text. Yeah, no worries, short text. Yeah, so the problem was, people, I was taking my desk. In my desk table, I have given the wrong details about the admission number. It should be 1001 and 1002. I have put the S001, S002. Now I can edit the relationship by closing these two. Yeah. So it goes like this. Now this is the one I need you to show. If I'm going to, yeah, when the referential integrity is enforced, look at this. It shows how many, like, what is the desk ID that is being related with this one. All right. And look what happens now. Once I'm going to delete this. So it says the record cannot be deleted or changed because the table desk includes related records. Right? So that's what I told you. When the relationship is made carefully, it will not allow us to do any mistakes. Right? In case if this particular student leave the school, the Saman Kumar, so I need to get rid of that record. But I can't delete that record because the desk, still a desk is being assigned to him. So if I need to delete this, I have to delete this particular record first. Then I will be given the chance to delete this particular record later. Right? So likewise. So if I'm deleting this, I'll delete this. So I can say yes. Then I will be able to delete the second one. Right? So it gives me the chance. It is because I have deleted the second record of the desk. So no one has assigned to the any particular desk. 1002 is not assigned to any particular desk. So there is no relation in between 1002. So it gives me the chance to delete this. Right? So that's the importance of having the relationship in between these tables. Okay, people, did you got the idea?
Yes, sir.
Right. So the next round that I'm going to do is like I'm going to create a relationship in between class and the in between student and the class, right? So that is what you call one-to-many relationship I'm going to create. So like one class has many students. So I'm going to add Two more students quickly. Right. And I'm going to the desk and I give some desk IDs. Right. And I'm going to take the class. I'm going to give C001 and I'm going to take this as 1A and C002. I'm going to make this as 1B. Right. So now what I need you to store is my first two students. These two students are in 1A class and the third student is in 1B class. Right? How I'm going to record that particular relationship now? The classes are here and students are here. So once you are going to think about the relationship in between student and the class, it's like one student is having only one class. This is student, this is class, and one class can have many students. So when you have this type of relationship, so we call this one-to-many relationship. One is taken from this side, many is taken from this side. We always take the biggest number. So like out of one and one is the biggest. Out of one and many is the biggest. So we call it one-to-many relationship. Right? So how we are going to do this? How we are going to which primary key is going to be there like on the other table? Is it the student admission number is going to be copied to the class table, or like the class ID is going to copy to the student table? How should it be?
Student admission number copies to the class table.
Student admission number copies to the class table. Okay, so if I'm going to add a student admission number over here, right? So I'm going to make it as a short text and give the admission num. So how I'm going to record it to C001 1A, which admission number that I'm going to put? Like my first two students are in 1A. Next student is in 1B. I'm going to put another one, 1004. Let's say let's say this one, the first two are going to be in the 1A class, second two are going to be in 1B class. Like what happens when I put the admission number over here, I can't put the student admission numbers like using a comma separator. So that means I have to take C001 1A, some particular admission number over here, and again C001 1A, another particular admission number over here, which occurs a duplication of my primary key, C001. But my primary key cannot be duplicated. Are you getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so because of that, I can't have this field over here. Instead of that, what I can do is I can add a field over here saying CID. So then, without a doubt, I can add the class IDs over here, right? So I can go with C001 to this one, and for this C001 as well, and this C002, and this C002, right? So when the relationship is one to many, in our case, in the student side, we had many. In the class side, we had one. So the primary key of the one side must be copied to the many side as a foreign key when it comes to the one-to-many relationship. That's why we are having a CID over here. It's a must. When it is one-to-one, as the previous example, we can change it to any either of the sides. But if it is one-to-many, you'd have to take one side primary key and copy it to the many side. It's a must. Right? So now we can have the relationship in very meaningful manner. Right? So now I can go to the database tools. I can go to the relationship. I can ask for the tables by right-clicking on the surface and saying show table. And then I can take the class table and I can create the relationship in between class and the student. Hold on. I have to save my class table first. No, okay. The student table is there, right? Yeah. So I can take the class. And now what I can do is I can create the relationship in between student and the class by taking the class ID onto the student. So it's a CID that's going to be referred. So I'm enforcing the referential integrity. I'm cascading these two and I create it. Yeah. So I can't do it while these tables are being open. So I have to close it first. Yeah, now I will be able to. Yeah, so it creates a one-to-many relationship. Can you see that? So now the student and desk is connected. Student and class is connected. Right? Okay, people, since the time is up, let's write about the one-to-many relationship by next week. Then we go for much better practicals creating one-to-many relationship, right? So yeah, so by next week I'm going to give you the note regarding regarding one-to-many relationship. Then we'll continue from that point onwards, right? So I'm going to end the session from today. right? So I'll see you on next week for the very same time, people, right? Thank you very much and have a very nice day, right?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Goodbye, sir.
Right, okay,
Thank
Dora,
you,
thank
sir.
you. Right, okay, Dora, okay.